بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear sisters, dear daughters, welcome back to a new episode of ASSAMEE al-Husna. As we are usually begin every episode with the hadith sahih of the Messenger of Allah, alayhi salatu wassalam. He said, verily Allah has 99 names, 100 but one. Whosoever knows each and every one of them, believes in them and works according to them, enter the paradise. May Allah, inshallah, make us from those who knows these names and work with them. Today, inshallah, we have two names. The first name we have is name of Allah, ASSAMEE, the all-hearing, ASSAMEE. The all-hearing. ASSAMEE, which the meanings of the name of Allah, ASSAMEE, that Allah hears and aware of all secrets without exception, all the secrets, and actually not all the secrets, the announcing the things that we are saying in front of people and the things in our hearts, and more than the secrets, Allah is listening and knowing that just the whispering, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing and is listening to us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ASSAMEE is hearing that all the type of speech or voices. Either it is a high-pitched voice or a low-pitched, either this person is fluent or not fluent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either he is whispering or he is just saying in a loud voice or in a low voice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is listening and hearing to all that. Whatever his creation utters, nothing is hidden from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with no limits. The word with no limits means that for us as a human being, sometimes or our way of creation that Allah created us make us cannot hear. Sometimes there is a limit for our ears to hear. Below this level we cannot hear, and above this level we cannot hear. It damages our ears, so we have limits as a human being. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, he has no limits. He can listen and he can hear the movement of the smallest creature he created to the movement of the huge or the hugest creation he created. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listening and hearing has no limits. Also, the name of Allah, ASSAMEE, we have a very striking picture or image when we are seeing the people around the Kaaba. Either they are making Hajj or Umrah. All of them, they are millions. Sometimes during the Hajj, they are 2 million and more. All of them, each one of them, every one of them are making his own dua. And Allah is hearing every one dua at the same time by the all languages. And listening to one person does not distract Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from listening to another one. The type of hearing implies for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just hearing, because when we are saying ASSAMEE, it means listening and doing an action. Allah is not hearing only, hearing and he's doing an action as a result of hearing. Which means if you praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you know you have a Lord that has the attributes of praise. He's listening to you and he will respond to you. And this is the meaning of the listening. It's just not listening only or hearing only. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is listening and responding. One of the scholars, his name Al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu, said beautifully that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hears secrets as well as whispers, and even what is subtler and more concealed, because this is than those, because there are more concealing that we spoke to ourselves, that no one can hear us except ourselves. This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Taha, وَيَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ وَأَخْفَى. وَأَخْفَى is, which means more hidden than the secret. The secret is the sirr. وَأَخْفَى is more hidden than the secret. So Allah is hearing all that. Even hears thoughts that go through your mind that you haven't even articulated. He is the one and only one who is capable of doing that with no partners. This is another meanings of the ASSAMEE, that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He can hear and listen in such way with no other partner or no other helper or supporter. Also, we have another meaning of ASSAMEE, which goes with the meaning of witnessing. That this is what we're going, inshallah, to say while we are passing through the ayat or the verse of Quran about name of Allah, ASSAMEE. That one of the meaning is Allah is witnessing by listening, which can be يعني وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, in an issue or in the court. Sometimes the judge is bringing one witness and in a certain issue, and he is telling him, did you hear that what mentioned so and so? He will hear, yes, I hear that in that day and that time. So hearing here or listening to a specific thing is coming by the meaning of witnessing, that there is a witness of or a proof that something happened or an event happened. And this is what we're going to say in a minute. When we search for the name of Allah ASSAMEE, actually name of Allah ASSAMEE came as Samia and also as Sami'an, both of them without the alif wa lam, around 22 times. We have in Surah Al-Imran, ayah 35, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned, which means, O Muhammad, this is for Prophet Muhammad, mentioned when the wife of Imran said, my Lord, indeed I have pledged to you what is in my womb, consecrated for your service, so accept this from me. Indeed you are the all-hearing and the all-knowing. This is actually the dua of the mother of Lady Maryam alayha salam. Before, when she was pregnant in Lady Maryam, she made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that she will dedicate her daughter Maryam for the service of Allah and as a servant of Allah. So this is Allah is hearing, the all hearing of the dua of this lady. We have also in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 76, Allah say, Ya Muhammad, you worship beside Allah that which holds for you no power harm or benefit, while it is Allah who is the all-hearing, all-knowing. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that there is no partner to Allah. Allah is the all-hearing and the all-knowing, and there is no partner, and He is making a statement that those the disbelievers, how they have worship beside Allah who cannot harm them or benefit them. So here the meanings came for the name of Allah ASSAMEE, that no partner is the only ASSAMEE. He is the only the all-hearing with no partner. In Surah Al-An'am, ayah 13, and to Him belongs that which rests by night and by day, and He is all-hearing and all-knowing. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-An'am mentioned that everything belongs to Allah, the night and the day. Here we can see the image and the picture being drawn in this ayah. To Him belongs that which rest by night. Here the word rest by night is coming with it the name of Allah ASSAMEE, because usually at night all of us are sleeping and no one is aware or oriented. So who is aware and oriented and knowing and hearing anything while we are sleeping? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also in Surah Yunus, ayah 65, and let not their speech grieve you. Indeed, honor due to power belongs to Allah entirely. He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Yunus is that mentioned that to the Prophet Muhammad not to be grieved from those disbelievers, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who's all hearing of what they are doing or what they are mentioning about him or about the religion. Here in Surah Al-Isra, the first ayah of Surah Al-Isra is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning in brief the description of what happened during the night of Isra and the Mi'raj, when he said, exalted is he who took his servant by night from Al-Masjid Al-Haram to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, whose surroundings we have blessed, to show him of our signs. Indeed, he is the all-hearing, the all-seeing. Here, the name of Allah, all-hearing, came while he is describing an event. This event is the Isra wal Mi'raj, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Al-Quds or Jerusalem, where this is made during night with the help, of course, of Jibreel alayhi salam. And he was the leader and the imam of all the prophets. He prayed with them, by them in the Masjid Al-Aqsa, and then he been urija bihi, or being raised to the heavens, and it's a long story. But here, when we try to correlate the presence of the name of Allah As-Samee in this ayah, as we mentioned, it is having the meaning of witnessing, that Allah is approving this event in the Quran, for all of us to know that since the Quran is a word of Allah, and it is the only trustable and it is the only truth book we have, so Allah is documenting this event as As-Samee, as a witnessing of this event happened to Prophet Muhammad by his soul and by his body, both the soul and the body. He was being taken to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa and then raised to the heaven. In Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah 4, the Prophet said, my Lord knows whatever is said throughout the heaven and earth, and he is the all-hearing and all-knowing. This is about Prophet Muhammad when he say, my Lord, means that he knows everything in the heaven and in the earth. Of course, knowing everything, every creature that Allah created is all-hearing to them. Another meaning of name of Allah As-Samee in Surah Fussilat, ayah 36, Allah said, and if you spurred or stimulated or stinged by spurring of shaitan, then seek refuge with Allah. Indeed, he is the all-hearing and the all-knowing. Here, the name of the all-hearing is coming when we seek refuge of Allah. When we seek refuge of Allah from shaitan, from fear, from something we are not feel comfortable with. So when we seek refuge to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will be hearing to us. Now, of course, there is many other ayahs, but I try to choose the ayat that related mainly to the meaning of As-Samee, and of course, there is other ayat which adds to this meaning and having the main four criteria of the meanings. But I just choose those for you as an example. But of course, if you wish to go through the ayat in the Quran, having the name of Allah, the all-hearing, you'll find many other ayats describing the name of Allah, all-hearing. Benefits of the name of Allah As-Samee. We usually have the first point in the benefits to call him, to call As-Samee, and to be sure that he is listening and he will respond to you. He is the close one that listens to your words when they are spoken, and when they are trapped in your heart and you can't express them. Rest assured that the difficulty that you are doing through have has not gone unnoticed. This is very important, my dear sisters and daughters. You have to, when you're making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be sure that He is responding to you. Be sure that He's hearing you. Be sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you, will help you of what you are talking to Him and making dua. When you're afraid of something, seek the refuge of Allah and be firm. As ASSAMEE is the all hearing, and this is we can see that in Surah Taha, ayah 46, when Prophet Muhammad said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet Moses alayhi salam before going to Fir'aun, he was afraid. He was afraid because he knew Fir'aun and Pharaoh is a tyrant, and although his brother with him Aaron, but he's still afraid. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told him in this ayah, the ayah 46 in Surah Taha, fear not, indeed I am with you, both the Prophet Moses and his brother. I hear and I see. Here the name of Allah came as an Allah is talking about Himself, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said about Himself, fear not, don't be fear, I am with you. I hear and I see. I hear and I see what will happen between you and Pharaoh. And again, we're going to remind myself and remind you about the hearing and the seeing of Allah is not like any one of us, and it's beyond our level of mind to try to formalize or figuring out how Allah is seeing or how Allah is hearing, because this is something in the frame of nothing like Allah. He's not comparable and He is not liking to any other creatures. He is the creator. But what we are believing as a Muslims on the following the Quran and the authenticated Sunnah, that we believe of what came in the Quran and what came in the Sunnah about the names of Allah and His attributes, without trying to figuring out or resemblance of this attributes. Another point in the benefits of name of Allah ASSAMEE, here in the ayah 114 in Surah An-Nisa. No good is there in much of their private conversation, except for those who enjoy charity or that which is right or conciliation between people. And whoever does that seeking means to the approval of Allah, then we are going to give him a great reward. What does it mean? Does it mean that when we have a private conversation, as we told that Allah can hear every type of talking we are talking, the best type of conversations that we can have is for the to have charity or to make conciliation between people, and order for a good thing to happen. This is all the types of speech that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us rewards on it. Other than those things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not, we are not having rewards on it. So the rewards is to help and support in good things, or say good words, or help in charity, or help to conciliate, or to, if there is two quarrel persons, you try to make them have a good relations again. This is all that going to have rewards. Otherwise, most of our speech is against us. If you're going to speak about the thing that we call it, you will not have a rewards, and you will not have a sin. Like, for example, I opened the TV and I found someone who is cooking and giving me the prescription or the ingredients of such cooking. It's okay. I will talk about that to my sister or to my mother. It's okay. It's what we call it mubah, that you will not take a reward and you will not have sins. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah is talking about the things that you will have rewards from Allah, either to say good words, or to, which means dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or prayers, or Quran, or even you are making things for the sake of Allah, and or reconciliations between people or charity, all this will take rewards. Other than these three categories, you are, even if you are doing something good, but you are not giving rewards, except if you have the niyyah or have the intention. If you are doing or saying something with the intention of making it, of course, it will be without lies, without backbiting, without all these things. But your target in what you are saying, it's for the sake of Allah, so we'll take inshallah rewards on it. That's why we have to be very cautious about our speech and what words we are speaking with. As-Sami'a comes before other attributes when they are paired. For example, we have As-Sami'u al-Basir, As-Sami'u al-Alim, the all-hearing, the all-knowing, the all-hearing, the all-seeing, because the all-hearing is coming first, that having Allah listening, which gives you a direct contact that Allah is listening to you and to our dua, and that's why it's usually came before the other attributes of Allah, and this is a type of reassuring us to know that Allah is responding and hearing us. How many of us have had unexpected gifts given to him and the exact thing we were hoping for without asking, knowing that no one heard these hopes except Allah? Sometimes you are, I think it happens to most of us. Sometimes you are wishing something to happen or to have something, and you didn't tell any person. You didn't tell any person about this thing, just it is in your heart. And suddenly you find it in front of your eyes. Who brought this thing to you? He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, As-Sami'a, who listened to your heart. You even didn't see by your lips, but it was in your heart. Another point for to live with the name of Allah As-Sami'a is to talk to Allah. Dear sister, this is very important. Talk to Allah, knowing that He can hear you and understand your language. Speak to Him and tell Him what's in your heart. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be asking for something. You just could talking to Him, talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there is something you want to ask, it's okay to ask for dua, for paradise, or to even complain about something it's in your heart. Talk to Allah, speak to Allah. Allah is hearing you, and He will take an action towards and respond to your thoughts. Another point, as we mentioned before, and it's very important to guard our speech and action. Remember that Allah can see and hear everything, so guard ourselves against the evil speech and evil actions. Accustom ourselves to hearing what's beneficial when we are speaking about the hearing. So my ear, I am the one who can make the filter to pass only the beneficial things, and the bad words, the bad things, the bad songs, whatever, the things that may make for me, it causes, they say it is like audible pollution will pollute my ear, so I have to close my ear and get away from such pollution, because I have to know that Allah is hearing me. When I am hearing bad things, Allah is seeing and hearing also with me. That's why I should be in a good a place all the time for what I hear and what I say. Now we come to the related story. Related story of the name of Allah As-Sami'a comes here today to one of the companions ladies. And this is one of the things that I would like to highlight on how much the ladies during Prophet Muhammad's time in Medina, they were really having strong personality, and they are expressing their problems and their issues about their families and their husbands. Strictly go to the Prophet and they start to complain and start to ask and start to know This was not present before Islam. In the same place, in the Arab Peninsula, the women were oppressed and there was no rights at all. So this one of the many things that the women won by the presence of Islam and after Islam. What happened here? Khawla bint Tha'laba radiallahu anha, she's one of the companion ladies. She went to Prophet Muhammad to complain about her husband. And actually there is a Quran and ayat came in Surah Al-Mujadilah. The first ayah of Surah Al-Mujadilah came. Certainly Allah has heard the speech of the one who argues with you, O Muhammad. You is meaning Prophet Muhammad, concerning her husband, and directs her complaint to Allah. And Allah hears your dialogue. Indeed, Allah is the all-hearing and all-seeing. So away from the complaint, this is maybe we can take it later in another session, but here what we want to stress on that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioning this story, that telling Prophet Muhammad that the lady came to you complaining about her husband. I heard what she said to you, and I heard both of you while you are talking to each other. Here, Sayyidah Aisha, of course, it was in Prophet Muhammad's home, where Sayyidah Aisha was present. And she say, when this verse was revealed, Aisha radiallahu anha was shocked. Why? Because she was with them. But it was not in the same, but it a little bit away from them. But not that much. She was not so far. Praise to Allah, she said. Praise to Allah whose hearing encompasses all voices. Khawla came to Allah Messenger complaining about her husband. I was in the other room, but I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear what she said. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these verses. So imagine that she is very near to them and she couldn't hear Khawla, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the all-hearing ASSAMEE, he heard and mentioned that in the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was there and he listened to both of them, the Prophet Muhammad and the lady. Here we finished the name of Allah, ASSAMEE, and then we come to the second name, Al-Basir, when the name of Allah, Al-Basir, is very attached to the name of Allah, ASSAMEE. It comes with ASSAMEE in many ayat of the Quran. So they closely related to each other. Al-Basir is the all-seeing, all-seeing. So when we come to the meaning of Al-Basir, the meaning of Basar, Basar in Arabic, Basar is vision. Also another meaning of Basar is a passage of truth to the heart. And the word Basira in Arabic, Basira means this person has a truly the skills of proper judging. When you have this person have a Basira, yani properly judging on people. When he said about this person is good, even if he doesn't know him, maybe he saw him for the first time, he said that this person is a good person, and definitely it could be a good person, and the reverse. So when you see a person who is having the wisdom and the proper judgment and proper decision maker, so this is, we said about, he has a basira, which means a passage, he's seeing the truth. The truth is seeing with very easy. Many people maybe around him are not seeing that clearly as he. When he see everything is clear, the truth is clear, this person, we called it in Arabic, he has a basira. So basar is either the vision or the passage of truth to the heart. When we come to the name of Allah, Al-Basir, so he is the one whose sight encompasses everything that is conceivable, hidden or apparent, no matter how hidden or small it may be. Again, here there is no limits for Al-Basir. His sight has no limits. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see everything. Sometimes we have microscopes and the electronic, sometimes light microscope, and then after that they invented the electronic microscope for those very minute organisms to can be seen, because we are not seeing by our naked eye, but for Allah all these things He is seeing. It's very easy for Him. Also, sometimes there is a type of light rays that beyond our highest level of seeing, we cannot see something which is above our limits, so, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see. So there is no limits for the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the vision of Allah. Also, as we are mentioning that He is the only one who is capable of doing that. No one except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability to see everything in the same time, and with different levels, and with different, if we can say, light, with the light rays, different light rays, all these planets, all these things that's away from us is perceived by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The name of Allah Al-Basir, and again Al-Basir with the Alif Lam or Basiran only, without the Alif Lam, came around 24 times in Quran. How to know the name of Allah Al-Basir in Quran? We have in Surah Al-Isra, again we'll come to Surah Al-Isra as one of the meaning of Al-Basir, that Allah was seeing everything happen during this night. We mentioned this with this ayah with all hearing, and we said at that time all hearing is the witness of what happened, and all seeing is meaning He saw everything, or everything happened in this night was under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Ghafir, ayah 20, and Allah judges with the truth, while those they invoke beside Him judges not with anything. Indeed, Allah is the all hearing, the all seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing all the truth, and the truth, and judges with the truth, and the other idols or partners or people trying to attach it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they didn't know anything, or they didn't judge about anything. So this is another meaning of the all seeing, that Allah is all seeing for the truth and for the wisdom that is it is better, or it is the best for the mankind. In Surah Ghafir also, ayah 56, indeed those who dispute concerning the signs of Allah without any authority having come to them, there is not within their breasts except pride, the extent of which they can't reach. So seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, indeed it is He who is the all hearing and all seeing. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that those of the disbelievers that know the truth, and despite of that they are denying it, Allah is seeing them. Allah is seeing them of all what they are saying and what they are doing. They are under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Al-Shura, ayah 11, He is the creator of the heaven and the earth. He has made for you from yourselves mate, and among the cattle mates. He multiplies you thereby. There is nothing like unto Him, and He is the all hearing, the all seeing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing the different creatures He created, and all these creatures, either it is from the heaven and the earth, or the mankind, or the animal kingdom, or whatever was under the Allah control, and is all seen by Allah. In Surah An-Nisa, ayah 58, indeed Allah commands you to return trust to whom they are due, and when you judge between people, to judge with justice. Excellent is that which Allah instructs you. Indeed, Allah is ever hearing and seeing. So Allah here is telling us for the people to be honest, and if you have a trust from any person, you should return it back in its time. And if you've been asked to judge, being a witness to judge for a person, you have to tell your testimony and tell your what you know about that. If anyone asks you to say your testimony, because why? Because Allah is seeing you. Put in your mind that Allah is all-seeing. In Surah Fatir, ayah 45, and if Allah were to impose blame on the people for what they have earned, He wouldn't leave upon the earth any creature, but He defers them for a specified term. And when their time comes, then indeed Allah has ever been of His servants seeing. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is told us that Allah is not making an immediate punishment for all the people. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was making immediate punishment for anyone to make a bad deed or a mistake, there will be no one on this earth. And this is from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that everyone has his own time after his life finishes and he dies. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is starting to revive him back to the day of judgment and start to be accountable for what he did during his life. And this is from the mercy and for the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the ayat is finished by the name of Allah, seeing, because what? Because it gives us an impression that don't think that Allah is not seeing you. If you are doing bad deeds and you're not being punished immediately, or you are feeling that this is of course for the disbelievers and the deniers, they feel that even now, some of them say, if we were wrong, why Allah not punishing us now? If we are wrong, why we are not being punished? This is from their ignorance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them in this ayah that everyone will be punished at the time that Allah will determine during the day of judgment. But this doesn't make you think that He's not seeing you. Allah is seeing you and Allah is hearing you. So if you're going to have a repentance and come back to Allah, so it will be good for you. If you are not, so this is from no one to blame except Himself. And now to the benefits of the name of Allah, Al-Basir. Al-Basir, to call Al-Basir, that sees you and respond to you, as we mentioned in the all hearing. Trust in Allah, Al-Basir, that nothing hidden from Him. Trust in Allah, that Allah is seeing everything, every people. Al-Basir, you have to see Al-Basir in His creation. Think of His majesty and His glory, to watch Al-Basir in your deeds. And remember, when we talk about the benevolence or the ihsan, in a long hadith sahih of Prophet Muhammad, when Jibreel came to him, and he asked him about the pillars of Islam, the pillars of Iman, and what about the benevolence, which is the ihsan. So the ihsan is to worship Allah as if He sees you. Because if you don't see, to worship Allah as if you see Him. Because if you don't see Him, He sees you. So this is to feel all the time that Al-Basir is seeing you. So have these feelings, you will all the time be guarded and be watched from your eyes. Where is your eyes is looking to? That's why with coming to number the other point, to watch your eyes, watch persons, which persons you are watching. Is it okay to see such persons or not? Places, certain places to go through. Is it permissible to go to the places that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want us to go, or you may have a bad deed if you go there? You have to think. In the TV programs, is all the programs is accessible to us to see, or there is some programs and some movies or some plays we shouldn't see? We have to think what we are seeing. One of the also benefits of the name of Allah Al-Basir, to see the favors of Allah on you. Favors of Allah, to see your eyes, how Allah created for you the eyes and how complicated it is, and other organs in your body, and what is the relations of the organs to each other. My daughters, I recommend you when you are studying biology, if you have biology in the A level or even in your GCSE or previous years, you have to study biology with having the concept of seeing the favors of Allah on you, especially when you are studying the man organs or the mankind organs. When you are studying, you have to see the creator, to see the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his majesty in his creation of different organs and how they related to each other and how each organ is knowing exactly what to do and what types of cells in each organ and what's related these organs to each other. This is very, very applicable of the name of Allah, many names of Allah, the creator, the fashionable and the originator that we took before. Also from the benefits of the name of Allah Al-Basir, to see the wisdom of Allah in his universe and in your life. Sometimes it's not only the universe with all the creatures that Allah created, sometimes it's your life, what happened to your life. You see the wisdom of Allah in your life events and why you lived in this country and not in that country, and why you took this college and not this college, and why you attached to this job and not this job. So this is the wisdom of Allah you can see. Now we have the final slide about the related story of Al-Basir, which is very interesting story actually. I wish that if you can go through the details of this story. It's about the daughter of the milk seller. The daughter of the milk seller. What is in short or in brief the story of the daughter of the milk seller? This story happened during when the second Khalifa Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu became the Khalifa of the Muslims after the first Khalifa Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Umar radiallahu anhu known to be a very justice, and he used to go to pass or to walk in the streets of the Medina at night to see if there is someone needs help or someone is suffering or someone has complained, or this is supposed to be the ruler of any city or any place should look for the people needs and what they really need. So one night he was walking and he heard from a side of a wall of the house a woman saying to her daughter, "Get up to that milk, mix it with water." So the daughter told her mother, "Oh mother, haven't you known about the determination of Amir al-Mu'mineen?" Amir al-Mu'mineen is the Khalifa, is Umar radiallahu anhu. She said, "What was his determination?" He said, "The milk doesn't blacken with water." Then she said to her, "Go to the milk, so take it with water, as Umar is not seeing us or knowing." Then the daughter told her mother what? "If Umar doesn't see us, the Lord of Umar sees us." So these are actually the golden words of this daughter. And I advise myself and you to take this as a slogan. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so if someone that you are afraid of and say, yes, he will not see me, but there is, if my mother not see me while I am opening my mobile or Facebook, so the Lord of Mama will see me. So this is very important. It is not a matter of someone is seeing you, it is Allah. Allah who is seeing you. So if Umar doesn't see us, the Lord of Umar sees us. So Umar actually, Ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, when he hearing, he was very, he smiled and he was very impressed by the sentence mentioned by this daughter. And he has one of his son was not married, and he bring his son, the son name is Asim, to marry this girl. And this girl, after married to Asim, she bore for him another daughter. And this daughter actually later she married of one of the sons of the Khalifa later on in the Khilafah al-Umayyah in the Islamic history. His name is Abdul Aziz ibn Marwan ibn al-Hakam. And this daughter, she bore the one of the people, the pious people and very good rulers, from the best rulers that ruled the Islamic State during the Umayyad state. His name is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. He was the Khalifa for around 2.5 years, and he was like his previous his grandfather Umar al-Khattab from the mother side, because actually Umar ibn Abdul Aziz is considered to be Asim, the son of Umar al-Khattab, is his grandfather from his mother's side. So Umar ibn al-Khattab was a role model in the justice, and so his son Asim, being the grandfather of another Khalifa, came. His name is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, another role model of the justice in the Islamic history. So what I can say by this story, what I can say that when you are fear from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put in your heart that He sees you and He hears you, Allah will reward you in this life and in the hereafter. And He rewards you with a reward unexpected to you. That's why the lesson that we learn from this story, if Umar doesn't see us, the Lord of Umar sees us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك الله بحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Thank you so much, dear sisters, and I hope that this episode was beneficial for all of you.